So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
To the P.A.C.E radio show. We are live as we are every Wednesday at this time, and we're right here at lifestyleradio.ca. I'm your host, Al Graham. Tonight, my joint host, Kim Cooper, and our guest are here to talk to us about how he himself helps patients, as well as him being a patient, and as well as being a business owner. So we're going to hear a lot about him. But before we find out more, it's time to talk news with Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Pretty good, Al. Pretty good. Doing well on this fine and chilly winter night.
Yeah. I guess you guys are getting the extra cold before, getting a little bit colder before we do down this end of the province.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The deep freeze is definitely on in the north. Lots of snow happening already. And yeah, we're into winter.
I've been watching our snow, which we got in one little quick snowfall, melt over the last 2 days. So.
Oh, no melting going on out here. No.
All right, well, keep the windows closed and keep the furnace going and the fire stoked. That's all. Tonight in our news, I see there's an Ontario MP, Nathan Erskine-Smith is his name, and he's with the Liberals there, or maybe that's it. Yeah. And he's talking about getting some petition for Canadians to be able to grow cannabis in their homes. He wants that as part of the legalization.
Yeah, Erskine-Smith in the news once again. This guy's been very vocal in the House regarding right to grow, regarding legalization. He's very pro-legalization. He's spoken up on behalf of patients and non-patient consumers alike on many issues. And now he's once again standing up and saying, why aren't we just decriminalizing this? And this e-petition, number 115, initiated earlier this year. It gathered only 1,500 signatures. It's quite a few, but not that many, considering the issue. I'm always disappointed in the numbers on these petitions.
Yeah, I was surprised by the 1,500 when there's so much, stuff going on these days. We're always seeing posts on social media about the legalization issue. And I would have thought you would saw more signatures.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people voice their opinions through social media and through, activism and so forth. But it doesn't seem that anybody gets on board where it counts. And when it comes to speaking to the government and actually speaking your mind to the people that can actually do something about it, nobody does it. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and I see here he was requesting 5 or 6 plants, which is something similar to Colorado. And then he says, that people can produce their own beer and wine. Well, why aren't we allowing them to produce their own cannabis?
Yeah, exactly. Great initiative. I remember when this came out. I had it up on my wall on the social media, and I signed it way back when. I think it was in March when I put it out and when I found out about it. But I'm glad to see that it's still in the news and he's still bringing it forward. And I like that he's standing up against the party and calling for decriminalization prior to legalization.
Yeah, correct. He wasn't just following the party line. So, so that him doing that, and as you mentioned, he was in the news before over the cannabis issue and speaking out against his party, and that would have made a difference from what we're seeing in the news now on what's happening with legalization. And we're seeing Justin Trudeau now speaking out and saying to the police that they should be enforcing the laws, and we're seeing people get arrested. We're seeing more people get arrested than under Stephen Harper, and he was the MP who spoke up and said, we've got to decriminalize before we legalize.
Yeah.
And if they had done that, there'd be a whole different situation going on, I would think.
That's right. Trudeau, that's a whole nother story.
Well, he's got people screaming at him now. So there was a poll released today showing his numbers have increased, but that doesn't cover a lot of this second term where there's the pipelines, the cannabis issue. There's the native issues and climate change stuff going on, these pipelines. So once that all gets into it, it'd be interesting to see what happens at the next poll and see how things drop. So.
Yeah, that's where the numbers should show some changes, I think, in his polls is on the next one, because it's really the last 4 to 6 weeks that things have really become to a head with a lot of his election promises and his election campaign.
Yeah. It's been, I got when I first read this stuff, he was talking about the kids. He was talking about strict control, and he was talking about the organized crime and everything. And it's just whether he's you can say, and I've seen others posts that he's still basically under that same message, but it's just gotten so bad. Like, he should have done the decrim thing, and this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, his message has altered, I think. I mean, yes, he's still got the same stance, and he did run on the stand that he was going to, take out the element of organized crime and all of that. But at the same time, he did acknowledge that the current cannabis community and cannabis dispensaries in actual, he was speaking about one in particular, and he said there was a need for those.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he did acknowledge the cannabis community having a business aspect in our communities today, and what it's been grown on in Canada, and the cannabis dispensaries having a place in our society. And now he's doing a 360 on that.
He's left the people who have done this, the community who has gotten to this point, he's left them out of the discussion, other than just allowing it through general discussion where you say, okay, the public's got until a certain day for input.
Yeah, that's right. And
when it comes to these meetings and some of this committee stuff, it would be nice, obviously, to have more involvement in all that. And as we saw with the release recently of all those names, the politicians and the people involved in law enforcement, they're on that list of people involved in the LPs. Like, wow, it's like all those people who supported prohibition of cannabis are now looking after or controlling the legalization of it.
Yeah, well, follow the money, right? Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Follow the money, and everybody that's involved in the LP systems currently are former, people of influence in politics and in law. And I love the stuff that I've been seeing put out lately by Kirk Tusaw. But in one of his posts actually had to do with Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau and his use of cannabis. There's no statute of limitations on that.
Right.
So, I mean, he must have received his cannabis at that time from an illegal source. And there is no statute of limitations on that. So he could be currently charged. So he should watch what he's talking about.
The trafficking that was involved in passing the joint.
That's right. So, I mean... You want to talk about corrupt corrupt morals. Well, I mean, he was part of that element as well, right?
That's right. It's admitted to it. I don't know if you need any witnesses when the person admits to anything. All right. Well, let's move on to our guest, and we'll bring them in now. I'm sure we will be touching on the subject as the night progresses. So
Absolutely.
that's right. So as I'd like to welcome as our guest, the person who I described as a patient and business owner who helps patients, I'd like to welcome Matt Rash to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, we're very happy to have you aboard. You've got quite the story to tell. We're about the show's about telling the stories of the patients and the people within the cannabis community and what they're doing, and you've got a story that should be heard. So we're very happy to have you.
Quite a story.
Yes. Well, Matt, as I said, welcome to the show. Looking forward to hearing all the questions that Kim's going to have for you, and I'll be joining right in as we go along. But I usually allow the joint hosts to get things rolling. So I'm going to pass the torch so she can heat up for a dab over to Kim.
Thanks so much for the intro, Al. Welcome to the show, Matt. So glad to have you on and join us tonight. I'm only recently familiar with you and your story. We've been friends on social media and stuff for a while, and I know about your venture out there and your lonely world as well as mine out in Brampton way. You're a little bit secluded that way, not quite as bad as me, but a little bit. Just to give some people a background, Matt, you're originally from Toronto. You've lived mostly in Ontario, except for a short stint in wonderful Monte Carlo. You're on. Yeah. But what most importantly people should know is you're also a cannabis patient. And that is by way that you are an amputee. In 2012, you had an amputation done below your knee. And that's
2013.
Got you started. 2013. My bad.
Yeah,
2013. You had that done. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit more about who you are?
Okay, so I mean, I've always been an activist. I've always been a cannabis user and lover of the flower. But when I was in a very bad car accident in 2003. This led to an infection in my the bone in my ankle. Lasted 10 years. It started to go up my leg and close to the artery, and they amputated within 5 days. That was really difficult, but cannabis got me through it. I woke up with a morphine line, and I told them I was allergic, but my friend had a box of edibles there for me, and they took me off that, put me on the edibles, and I was out of the hospital in 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. That's amazing.
4 days.
Yeah.
So
4 days.
No pharmaceuticals for the pain, just the edibles.
Very minimal.
But the edibles were the bulk of it. Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
We've heard of other people using cannabis for pain after surgery. John Burfellow comes to mind as one of them as well. You found the edibles work then?
To this day, edibles for me are the number one way for pain relief for me. I mean, I use many things, but it always comes back to the edibles that work best.
Wow, and they let you out of the hospital 4 days after amputation surgery?
Well, this was after quite a fight. Because of the infection in the first place, I was terrified to be in the hospital. So they wanted to send me to other programs in other hospitals. There's an amputee program in Toronto at another hospital. They wanted me to go there. And it's supposed to be number one in the world and fantastic, but I wasn't having it. I had a therapy dog at home. I had a home out in Whitby we moved to so I can heal in a quiet place, and they were scared it was such an old home I'd get hurt. but it actually helped me heal. So I fought them tooth and nail. I fought with the doctor. I was like, listen, just let me go. And they did.
Amazing. And since then, you've been continuing your advocacy work for cannabis and letting people know your story. You've obviously had to go through some therapy and stuff,
Yeah, I'm wondering, was there, like you said, that this was for like 10 years you've been battling this infection. Was there ever any legal recourse or anything like that was involved? Or
well, I mean, I was in the Globe and Mail. I sued the hospital over this. But after basically getting enough for prosthetics and care, I was then sued by disability.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, because you sign whenever you get welfare, disability in Ontario, I don't know other provinces, but you sign something, say, if you get into a windfall, if you get money in any way, someone leaves it to you when they pass, you win big on Ontario, whatever the case, or you win a settlement. Even though it was stated it was for my care, disability came after $110,000, more than I even received.
Oh my God, how can they possibly do that?
Well, and it gets better. So I fought them, my lawyers actually, and it wasn't until we settled everything in Durham region in Whitby. I moved to Brampton. Brampton reopened the file, started a whole thing, put my file on hold for 9 months. When my lawyer paid them the check, they demanded that the check go to them because I was in their area. And when he got the check, they cut me off.
So they cut you off. They got all their money back, and they
didn't get everything. They, I'm a fighter. I'm not going to let that. It was ridiculous. That was for my care. So I fought them. They got like 22,000 out of the 110. But I mean, I didn't even get close to $110,000. So it was settled out of court for peanuts, enough for prosthetics. And so that I wouldn't pay their legal bills if I lost in court. It's hard to prove and hard to fight a hospital network.
So they
got you to do an out-of-court settlement that basically paid for your prosthetic care, and then in getting that settlement, another branch and arm of the government of Canada, or Ontario, reached out and said, well, you know what, that money is ours because we gave it to you while we were taking care of you on social assistance, and we want it back.
That's right.
You wound up having to fight them for the money that they wanted. You got that amount reduced, and it still basically left you with nothing after your care cost.
Right. And then I was sued also by a case manager who didn't want to sue the insurance company. He tried to fraudulently declare some things that he did for me. And when he was denied on the basis of it being a fraudulent thing, he came after me. And, of course, it would cost me more than to settle, so me and my lawyers had to pay him too.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. So, with that being said, and $1,000 in medications alone, plus my cannabis, I was in big trouble. My wife said, what are we going to do? And I kind of just didn't really know. So I woke up one morning and said, I'm opening a business today. And she pushed it off, brushed it off like another crazy idea, and went to work. And when she got home, Haze Boutique was formed. We had the business license. We had everything. We even had a flea market booth.
And you got your start at Haze Boutique and
That's
started your brand new journey.
Right. I mean, it was scary. It was a hard time, and I'm still even healing. I've gone through, I think, 14 different prosthetics. I've gone through different feet, the biome feet, ones that are robotic, to what I have now. It's been quite a journey in 3 years. Well, in 13 years, really.
With these prosthetics, before we go to break here, and when we come back from the break, we'll talk about the Haze Boutique. With your prosthetics, your leg, like, is that allowing for, like, obviously over time they're going to need to change it, and as you just mentioned, there was different types. So would they keep paying for each leg? Each time you need to change that, or was this just buy you one and they expect you to live with it for the rest of your life?
So I now, thank God, I have the prosthetic guy and company I do, because they go so far and beyond for me, as I do for my customers. But these guys, I mean, they really take it down to bare bones for me. And I mean, I owe for one right now, currently. And then, the government pays a small portion of it. I think leaves me with like a $7,000 payment or something. So,
wow. So your original settlement with the hospital only paid for the one prosthetic. It hasn't paid for any of the future prosthetics.
Oh, no. No. That money I got from the hospital allowed me to live for 9 months while I was waiting for disability's decision, and then it was the money that we used to open Haze Boutique.
Wow! So there is no future payments.
So there was nothing. Care. I mean, in the beginning days, I was 3 customers a day, there 12 hours, and eating craft dinner at night. Like we had nothing. We had nothing.
Okay, well, we'll get into the store when we come back from break.
Yeah,
and we'll find out about that and what made you, like mentioned, put your whatever you had left to get that started. So tonight for our break, as usually, we're going to hear a Canadian cannabis song, and tonight we're going to hear one from a band called In Disguise and their song Green Outlaw. Then when we return, Kim and I will continue our discussion with Matt Rash of the Haze Boutique in Brampton. This is the P.A.C.E radio show here at lifestyleradio.ca. This is the P.A.C.E radio show.
Hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
And now the cops will make it bigger. The truth will always fade. They'll talk about the millions nobody ever made. They say they want those green outlaws in jail and doing time. Take everything from them. It's all proceeds of crime. Now it's a crime.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
The National Task Force on Medicinal Cannabis is a group of not-for-profit organizations dedicated to influencing government policy with factual evidence. Our mission is to ensure that a constitutional medical program is developed that will address the concerns of all Canadians that require therapeutic cannabis. The task force is looking for dedicated people who are willing to contribute to our cause. We have formed this task force to foster a unified approach and focus on lobbying the federal government and Health Canada. We represent the combined expertise of thousands of patients with more than a decade of experience. As a task force participant, you, your business, or your group will have an opportunity to show that you care and offer your unique skills to promote the cause. If you would like to get involved, go to medcanataskforce.org. That's medcanataskforce.org and use the Contact Us link to get started. Help us help you.
Tune into the P.A.C.E. radio show and catch Kim Cooper, Debbie Stoll-Skiffen, or Alison Merlin, along with myself, Al Graham, as we talk to Canadian and international cannabis advocates who are working hard to help patients and to end cannabis prohibition. Catch us live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at lifestyleradio.ca.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Now they say they're gonna win that war, it just can't be won. For every cop, there's 100 green outlaws out on the run. And they'll never stop growing, thank God I can say. For every bale that...
Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the P.A.C.E. radio show live here at lifestyleradio.ca. You can also find us live over at Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, which I spotted on my TV the other day. It was cool. And the and Showcast. We're live at them as well. Well, many of us already know this, but others don't always know. Lifestyle Radio is also the home of the 420 radio show. Tune in to the 420 radio show with its host Al Rapp and his joint hosts Marcel Guignac, Glory McEachran, who recently we saw on video. Kim, she was doing the thing with the veterans up there on Parliament Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ross Middleton, Chris Backer's there, and they have guests every Friday night, 7 o'clock. They're live for 2 hours, and you'll be able to catch the latest news and what's going on. And they have international guests and Canadian guests, and so you just never know who's going to appear. And talking about guests, Kim, tonight we got the owner of the Haze Boutique in Brampton. That's Matt Rash.
Yes, patient advocate Matt Rash. So many in the industry and in the movement that are patients first.
Yeah, well, he obviously, that first segment, holy smokes, that was quite a story. I'm sure throughout the night we'll be talking about everything he's doing, and I'm sure some of that will be drifting in and out of different topics because he's got quite a story. So let's head on to the next segment of it all.
Sounds good. Welcome back, Matt. I hope everybody enjoyed our break. Good to be back.
Thank you.
Yeah, when we left off, we were just going to start talking about your wonderful little venture, the Haze Boutique. You took whatever you had left after paying for what your necessities were for life and so forth, and you said, well, let's make a go of something. We've got a little tiny bit. Let's turn it into something that we can live on and do what we like to do, help some people, and open a shop called the Haze Boutique here in Brampton. And there's very little there, isn't there?
So I actually opened as a flea market booth. We only, as I said, had such a little bit left. I rented a flea market booth 6 days a week, and we were there for about 2 months until I said it's time to get our own space where we can open, do what we want, and be who we truly can be for our community. So we did, and it was a good thing because the sheriff locked everyone out a couple weeks after I left.
I'm curious as to which market it was, because a friend of mine, Wayne Matheson from Canada's, last year he did markets from Curtis to Lakefield, Peterborough, different places. So, which one was the one that you were at that basically was where with the sheriff?
It was over at Queen and Rutherford in Brampton. So it was not far away from where the store is now. It's only about 5 minutes away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to check with him to see if he ever went to that one over Brampton. Yeah. Because he's in a booth. He's in a flea market right now in Campbellford. He's been there for a year. So yeah, and he's got a store. He's just waiting for the store to the landlord to finish the work for the municipality to do approvals, and he'll
Well,
so he's basically, you guys have very similar stories.
Yeah.
As far as your stores are being created.
Yeah, I've heard of a few people gotten their starts at flea markets, started off with flea markets and then branched off in the store. It's a familiar story.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't, they won't give you certain products, certain companies won't even talk to you. So, if you're going to grow, you've got to grow out of the flea market, kind of. You don't really have a choice. It's the industry.
Yeah. So if you want to expand on your inventory, a lot of them won't supply to a flea market. There has to be an actual brick and mortar shop.
Right. And that's why you see a lot of stuff that might not be real. Not saying that's the case everywhere, but, it is what it is. But, I had to get out and needed more. I knew of a lot of products I wanted my customers to have. We just didn't have somebody who knew the industry, the products. I was a chef, so I couldn't do that anymore. I couldn't go and do that anymore. I had no choice. So we just continued on and took everything out of that and put it into the store. 1,000 square foot location.
You're making yourself a brand new career in something that you had a passion for. So you have the brick and mortar store. You offer obviously paraphernalia for sale, the items that people should need that are consumers. What other services does the shop offer? Okay,
so basically I'm very big on education. So as you come in, you even buy a bong from me, you're going to be learning about something just as I go off. I mean, it's such an atmosphere where you, as soon as you walk in the door, you're so comfortable and you feel so safe, and that it's such a welcoming environment. And you can tell that we're not your average shop. We're not the same. There's a difference to us, and it's in the air. And to understand it, you really got to go there and see what I'm talking about. It's a great place.
Friendly environment.
We carry everything from bongs to pipes to bubblers to T-shirts. We've got these awesome Always Smoking Jays jerseys and hoodies, and beanies. We sell a lot of books, education, some MJ creams and CBD products. We sell like patches and tinctures. So we really have a wide range of products, and if it has to do with the cannabis industry or or cannabis itself, we can find it for you. We'll do our best, whatever it is. And we also do a lot of novelty products like cake pans in the shape of cannabis leaves, and ice trays and the cookie cutters, stuff like that. We're actually having Haze Boutique cookie cutters made. So we're really a diverse place. But then beyond that, we do things like I'd go to a doctor's appointment with a customer if they needed. I care about my community. So we do things. If a customer needed help with a tent setup, we do it. We do consultations and try and find them prescriptions and licenses before. We've been doing it for 1.5 years. So we have cannabis consultants we work with, like Canna Relief in Mississauga. So we really are diverse.
So you're offering education too. Yeah. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm on your website here under your services, and I'm seeing the Canna Relief consulting. That'd be like that's basically a signing clinic type situation.
Canna Relief is they're a Canna consultant, so they have a doctor on staff. They get you your prescription. They help facilitate your medication through the LPs and, go the right legal route.
Okay, now
they do cost money.
Correct.
But that's just one.
The big question with a lot of these places, okay, like it's great, not everybody wants to grow. Not everybody knows somebody who can be a DH or DG, right? And sometimes that's the only avenue for a patient to go to, and it's not everybody's choice, but it's some choices that only some people could. That's the only one that some people can make, and because of the situation. So it allows them to get their medication. So does this place allow people? Will they sign for people who want to grow, or is it just more directed to LPs?
They are more of a direct you to the LP, get you to the doctor, so the doctor gives you the prescription. That's more of what they do. But I'm honest, completely honest with people. I have nothing to hide and to lie about with my customers. So I'll tell them, you go to a doctor first. Go to a doctor. The doctors can sign. Yeah. If they don't, then there's other avenues. But
that's right.
I have doctors that'll do a $25 fee. So we don't just do one thing. We do what that customer or patient needs. Yeah. I really go deeper into, not just I need a vaporizer. Okay, this one's on sale this week. Oh, we get into details. Okay, do you have kids? Do you want a glass mouthpiece? Do you want a plastic mouthpiece? How big do you want it to be? We get into stuff like that. So
I see you got the herbal air. I see you got the herbal air here in the picture, and they offer like a whip. Some people would make, like I've run into people who don't want a bag. Well, a whip is an option.
Right. It has the whip and a 4-bag option or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can, and they're reasonably priced.
Yes, they are. Yeah. I have one. I have one myself.
Yeah, I do too. I as well. But one of my favorite products is the Magical Butter Machine. By far.
Yeah. I think that's everybody's favorite product, and I still don't own one. I'm still looking for one. So that's
when you're looking for one.
Gift. Sorry, that'll hopefully be my Christmas gift this year for my husband.
Well, he'll have, I'll send one up. That's it. We'll have to send one up to
you. I have one, and last night I talked to a friend, and she just received one for Christmas, and so she's never used it. But she asked me, "Is it just a big crock pot?" And so I told her, "No, it's much more than a big crock pot," and told her to go home and read about it. So
it kind of is, but it's a very special crock pot. It took my weekend butter making from Friday to Sunday down to 2 hours. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you can always adjust those times.
Absolutely.
The amount of
and
work
heat
that
levels
saves is incredible.
Yeah.
And you can make creams and butters and oils and tinctures, and I make them all because I want a delivery system, whichever works fastest, whichever works the best for me in that situation. So I make tinctures to butter to oils, all in the magical butter. In fact, I own 2 of them.
That seems to be the big thing now is the delivery system, as you said. So many of us now that are using cannabis as a medicine, we are so much better versed on the different delivery systems through trial and error, and sharing our knowledge through the different community members, and advancing that knowledge through our own trial and errors and our own clinical trials, so to speak. That we're doing in the community. All of this information is so important going forward in any legalization system for sure. I know myself now, along with so many others, there are, 4 to 5 different types of cannabis, along with 4 to 5 different delivery systems that we have every single day, depending on the time of the day and depending on the need and depending on the ailment that we're using it for.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a miraculous thing, and to have these in our system, these cannabinoids are in our system. We have receptors for them. They wouldn't be there unless there was a use for them.
Exactly. And more are being identified every day as far as cannabinoid properties inside cannabis. It's amazing the things that it can help our bodies with. Now, it's no cure by any means, and it doesn't work for absolutely everything. A lot of people like to say, just use cannabis no matter what the ailment is. Well, sadly, that's not the case. It does not work for absolutely everything, but it does work for a lot. No question.
It works for a ton of stuff. And just like a medication you'd get from a doctor, it might work on one person, but we're all different. We all have different systems, different metabolisms, different everything. So it doesn't work the same as it would for someone else. That's just not the way it works. So,
right.
Different you got to be careful.
Work on different people. We all have gone through the trial and errors of finding which aspirin works. Is it Advil or is it Tylenol? That's a prime example, different strokes for different folks. And that goes with anything that you're treating.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, completely agree, 100%. But I've got to jump in and say it's commercial time, guys.
Already? Wow.
Oh, already, that's right. Well, just think after this break, we can run straight through to the bottom of the hour, 9:30, no breaks or anything.
There we go.
All right. But we got, always, as I mentioned before, we got to pay some bills, right?
Yes,
and it's always nice to have supporting businesses that love to get involved and show their support in the cannabis community. So let's do that. And as that comes along, we're going to play some more of Green Outlaw by In Disguise. And then after that, Kim and I will continue our talk with Matt Rash of the Hash. I keep calling it Hash, but it's Haze. Haze Boutique. You're listening to the P.A.C.E Radio Show here at lifestyleradio.ca.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
He's 20 miles from nowhere, choppers in the air. Tracking dogs are on him where he's going now, he don't care. They'll try and wear him down, he's got legs to spare.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
The following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet, www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
This is Al Graham of the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the P.A.C.E Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
Don't matter now, it's time to get away. A promotion waits for the cop to catch you on this day. But the green outlaw ain't worried, home out in the wild.
Hey, we're back. It's the P.A.C.E Radio Show, and we are being broadcasted, as always, at lifestyleradio.ca. And we are, let's see, Kim Cooper and Matt Rash of the Haze Boutique. But before I bring them in, I'm just going to remind you that band tonight, that was In Disguise. They are from the East Coast. That song was the Green Outlaw song. And just so you know, these guys are called In Disguise, because when you watch their video, when they're around all that growing cannabis, the guys are in disguise. Their faces are covered up. You can't tell who they are. But I know they got some great tunes, so go to YouTube, do a search for Indus Guys, and you'll find them just like I did. All right, Matt and Kim, we're good and free here for the next 40 minutes. And I know Matt's got more of the story to talk. This just goes and goes and goes, doesn't it, Kim?
Man, it never ends.
Does.
Never seems to end.
It sure
anyway.
does. It just keeps going and going and going. Never-ending story for this poor guy, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, well,
He's a fighter.
Yeah, Yeah, you sure is, and you sure are, Matt.
Yeah, I definitely am a fighter.
Yeah, well, Kim, I'll let you get going here and get the first question started anyways.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we left off, we were talking about the different stuff that you have to offer at the shop there. You not only are just a regular old head shop, like there are so many of them, you're kind of set yourself aside by being independent and offering some services and counseling services and referral services to get people hooked up as legal patients and see doctors. But you know, you didn't get so started off quite so easily at the same time. We were talking earlier, and you had some problems getting opened up in the very beginning. I think you had the store for about a month or so, before it could even open up the doors. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, first, when product was a big issue also. And I gotta say, if it wasn't for the guys at Marley, they opened up their warehouse to me and said, "Here you go, Matt, whatever you need, man, whatever you need." So that was a huge help. But then I tried to get insurance. We had the property for a month before we could get insurance. One guy offered us $250 a month for the insurance, but nothing was covered. Yeah. So, and then we also had our bank accounts held.
Selling you insurance, but not giving you any coverage?
Yeah. This was what he said. Yeah.
I'm giving you a piece of paper. So you can...
Yeah, basically so you can enter the property, because you can't enter the commercial property without having insurance in case someone gets hurt.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was that. But the best one was, I've been a customer of TD for 20 years. And I, at one point, had a substantial amount of money. It disappeared fastly, as we know. But the manager pulled me out. I was getting the check for the rent deposit on the store we currently have, and he pulled me out of line with my real estate agent there with me, and pulled us into an office saying they shouldn't have opened the account. They don't know if they want to be in business with a company that's has to do with cannabis. And I lost my mind. I just about had it with these people. I said, "What? My money's too green for you." I said, "Give me every penny I have in this bank right now. I want it in cash like I brought it in." I lost it. It was nonsense.
So they put your bank accounts on hold and wouldn't allow you to access your accounts?
Right. So I couldn't access any product. I couldn't access the money to put the deposit down on the store. I couldn't access anything. And that was the money. That's all we had. That's it, man. That was it. So they really, that was good.
Wow. And that was TD Bank. I've heard of other people having issues at TD Bank. You know, it's not a really good bank for the cannabis industry.
Well, I'll tell you. I then had problems with. They promised, "Oh, don't worry, you're good now. Everything's worked out. You know, you've been a long-time customer." And the manager really, really went to bat for me. I've done a lot of business in that bank, and so they actually knew me. I have a therapy dog, a red-nosed pitty that comes with me places, and everyone loves her. So. And with my leg, I'm not one you miss very often. You remember me. So the manager did help after it all, after a lot of screaming and yelling, but he did. And then the merchant services, who we were promised wouldn't give us any trouble, did the exact same thing and held the account for 5 days.
Oh my God.
But in TD's defense, I haven't had one single problem since then, until probably tomorrow, when they hear this.
Let's hope not.
Oh, Lord. No, and then I'll be on next week telling you all about TD's conversation. So yeah, that was that. And then I think after all of that happened, we thought we were good. So it was just before Christmas, and the rep for the landlord walked by and about lost her mind, started yelling and screaming. I went outside to see what was going on. I didn't even know who she was. And I hear, what did they put on their application? They said they were. I guess she thought we opened a dispensary or something, and we're not. We're a cannabis culture and lifestyle store. Everything but that. So we've had a hard time with them too now, ever since.
If you're inside the store and she was outside the store, who was she yelling at?
On the phone. She called their office to see if we lied on our application. Because I put on our application we're a specialty store and a specialty glass and gift store, which we are.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we are. They don't. If I was a glass and gift store that said Toronto on it, would I have to say I'm a Toronto glass and gift store? No. I just have labels on my shirts. I have, it's
so
not
she's calling you a liar.
It was pretty nonsense.
She's calling you a liar. She's questioning whether or not.
I guess she thought she would catch us with that, but she couldn't. That's not who I am. That's not who I am at all. I'm completely open and honest, and that's the whole thing. She has my business card, which has a cannabis leaf in our logo. In fact, my cards at the time were perforated, so you can make filters out of them.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's not like I hid who we were. I don't. That's not who I am. I want a landlord that's gonna have our back, not one that's gonna fight us at every move. Take down. I spend a lot of money on signs, and then a 4-foot sign they tell me is a tripping hazard. I mean, are you kidding me? So it's crazy. And now I've had to go above the landlord's head to the city property, and the landlord's still trying to throw out my signs. But he never comes himself.
So you paid your rent in advance, and your landlord was more than happy to operate your business, and he has no problem with you being there. But he's not allowing you to have any advertising outside of the store anywhere. It's
been a fight. And even so, it took a year to get on their pylon after them telling us that they were rented, but they were empty for months and months and months and months. Nobody was renting those spaces. And it finally got to the point where one of the reps for the landlord went to the other customers, other people, to ask if they wanted to rent those signs, but they never came to us. And a couple of those other people in the building, one of them I was at the flea market with, the others are barbers that I use. These are people that I know, so they came right to me going, dude, they're trying to get people to rent the sign. So I then said, do we have to get a lawyer? And then so they finally said, fine, you can rent a sign on the pylon, but we have to clear what it says. So they didn't let us put our logo on. All it says is Haze in big letters, and then our boutique and our phone number.
They're restricting advertising.
Yeah. Do they restrict any of the other businesses, or just
they have been causing me to lose business at an extraordinary rate. And with all the other things that I'm dealing with, and I'm dealing with a lot, they are just causing me more stress and more loss of business to loss of advertising, like when they sent the guy in while I'm in a meeting. I mean, it's crazy. People can't find me. They drive around 3 times and leave and go downtown to a competitor.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to have sidewalks? Little sandwich board signs.
Well,
like here in our
that's the thing. I'm down below. I'm on the lower. Like, if you think of a strip plaza, it's got an upper level and a lower level to it. But the lower level is kind of underground or partly underground, and there's stairs on each side. There's 4 units, and there's stairs on each side. So I had a sandwich board, 4-foot sandwich board. It was probably 10 feet away from the stairs, right up against the wall, and they took it down, said it was a tripping hazard.
Yeah. It sounds like they're just coming at you from every angle.
So then I had to go above their heads. I mean, I needed for people to see where we are, that we're here. I've done everything myself with social media. So up till now, I've done what I think I can, word of mouth. But I needed this sign. It was imperative. So I got a teardrop sign that you don't need a permit for. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on permits for. You pay $300 and you put it in the ground. So I did so on Brampton City property, not the landlord's property. Well, the landlord has tried 3 times now to have the sign removed, and it's not even on his property.
This landlord's giving you all this trouble, but yet
But they love my check.
You paid them rent in advance, but did you mention how much how many months or whatever you paid in advance?
How much in advance did you pay?
Well, I gave them. It wasn't so much in advance, but they had 2 years of checks made out. So every month they were guaranteed to get paid unless we canceled the accounts or something. But they had 2 years. They had 24 checks to cover, the rent for 2 years. They didn't have to call us. They didn't have to nothing. Just cash their checks.
And as far as advertising, I mean, they object to anything that's got like a cannabis leaf on it or any reference to cannabis plant or anything like that. But they fail to realize that in everyday shopping malls across the country, in places like the Body Shop, that is infused with hemp seed oil, and it has a cannabis leaf on it. And it's got a picture of a cannabis plant on the front of it or a cannabis leaf. And in our grocery stores, we can buy hemp seeds as a dietary supplement, and it has a picture of a cannabis leaf on the front of it. And the cannabis leaf is
my fight.
It's not a restriction to advertising, and it's not necessarily associated with smoking marijuana anymore.
Well, here's the thing. Because we are a cannabis culture and lifestyle store, we carry beauty products. I have creams that are medicated. I have creams that are not, from hemp, that are all hemp seed oil. That's it. I carry miracle oil. It's hemp seed oil. I mean, so it is a hemp leaf. It is.
That's right. That's right.
Right? I mean, so
there should be no restriction on advertising.
It's just discrimination. That's all it is. It's them bullying. That's all.
Yeah.
So, it got to that, and that's where we stand now. And it's horrible because right now I'm all alone doing this, open to close 7 days a week by myself.
Oh,
wow.
I've had trouble with staff as well. Everything from stealing to doing drugs in my bathroom. So,
Yeah, no, you can't have that. You need people that you can trust behind the counter. It's tough to find for
and
sure.
I have customers, even dogs that we treat. I have a dog that has epilepsy, and we treat with CBD. Now, if I have somebody that doesn't know, can't help, I can't have that. I need somebody that's going to be able to help a customer when they need it, not be so messed up they don't know where they are. I mean, or just complacent and not care. I need these need people that work for me that to care as much as I do, and it's just so hard to find.
Yeah.
You know, I just have a care for the community I live in, and I have a care for the people, especially the sick ones, because I understand what we go through on a daily basis. Even just the pricing of my stuff, I know people can't afford this stuff these days. It's just so tough out there. Every day's another struggle.
So it's compassionate pricing and helping patients helping patients once again. You know, I mean, it happens so many
man. That's the way we have to do it in this industry. We need to help each other and stop beating each other up. It's ridiculous. You know, we got to be there for each other a little bit more.
Hopefully your struggles will end into 2017, and then you'll see some better results with stuff going on there.
Yeah, well, like once the landlord, you've proven yourself to the landlord, you're proving yourself to the TD Bank. Like you've got history of trouble, trouble-free history as far as you've made payments, on both ends. Dealing with the bank, dealing with the landlord. Like Kim says, this has got to stop.
Yeah, it really does. And then there's stuff like I'm ready to grow, but for instance, to be even attempting a dispensary would be crazy right now because of the seizing laws in Ontario, and they're the worst for seizing property. So my stuff would be gone. So I can't grow that way, even though we'd be amazing at it. I'm a patient. But, a lounge, for instance, I was so nervous of opening a lounge that I didn't even go there. Thank goodness a friend of mine did, and this is great for our community. But for me, having my store seized after all of this was just not in the cards. So
yeah, for sure. You're forming partnerships, with other organizations that are within your community, and that's key for all of us to form these types of partnerships. You mentioned the association that you have. You can refer people to a doctor to see somebody, and get signed with an LP, and you offer them some counseling services. You also are associated with the lounge that you just mentioned a minute ago. You want to tell us about the lounge?
Absolutely. Okay, so a really good guy has thinks the same way I do, and he cares about us. He cares about his customers. He cares about his patients. Came to me about a year ago or so and asked me a little bit of advice, and went and opened up Greenleaf Vapor Lounge in Brampton. He's done an amazing job. He's had some really great comics there. They've got video games. It's a really clean, comfortable environment. If you need help, they're there. It's like a clubhouse, really comfortable. You never feel out of place there. He's done a great job. A really, really good job.
Awesome. Where is that located?
So now we've partnered with them, and it's kind of like we are trying to be there for this community together as a team rather than anything else. We send people to each other. We help each other's customers. We're there as a team if we need to be. And I'm sure we're going to do some events together, and it's going to be great. It's awesome. Really much. It's so much nicer when you're together and not apart. Yeah.
Is he within walking distance of your location?
No, unfortunately he's not. I'm a little bit out of downtown. It's about probably a $10 cab ride. So if that gives you any idea, with me, I don't drive, so it's really not that far. His entry's only $5, so it's very, very decent. And they're open 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. every day. and they're at 85 Rosedale Avenue in Brampton. So they're not that far from downtown.
I had a family member who just moved from Brampton. He was over on Bramley Road over by Steeles.
That's closer to me, closer to the store.
Yeah, that's when I told him that you were going to be on the show tonight, and that he was from Brampton. He says, "Brampton, we're in Brampton." And I said, "Well, there's his website." And he says, "Grace, he wasn't that far from me."
Yep. Yeah, we are kind of. That's the thing. That goes back to what the landlord is. That's why I fight so hard for it, because we really are Brampton's hidden gem. I say this, I hashtag this, because we really are. We're hidden away, but it gives me a little bit of break to get better pricing. It does a lot of things that we like, but then we also have people hard to find us. Like,
we'll get the word out and tell people where you are, for sure. And you have so much to offer, and nice to just talk and find out some information.
And like you mentioned, getting involved, getting your friend there with the lounge, and getting involved in events, all that helps as well.
Oh, tremendously! And I mean, like they have open mic nights, they have comedy nights every Saturday night. They just had Precious Chong there. They really are starting to get out with the events. I think there was talks of maybe calendars. There's so much stuff about to happen with all of us. So Brampton is going to hit the map. We have email makers. We've got stores like mine. I mean, we have people traveling quite a distance just because of, you can come and hang out at Haze for half the day. It's just fantastic. Yeah.
I'm talking about getting involved. Like, I know you guys are right there near Toronto, and everybody goes to the 420 in the Yonge and Dundas, or wherever it's going to be moving to in the near future. But is there any type of out there rallies, or you guys could start your own events in order for it to be more public?
Well, that's actually, it's funny you say that, because I was going to do the 420 at Dundas Square last year. Instead, I did a edible party. So it was my first year last, we've only been open 2 years, so it was really the first year to go out and do something on that day. This year, I'm hoping to at least 420. I mean, we just did the Karma Cup, and we got a ton of exposure there. And I'm really hoping to either do 420, but I'd really like to get something going out here in Brampton. I really, really do. I think we should totally take Gage Park over and have a smoke out, or do something awesome out here and show, everyone else that we know our stuff, and we love each other and our flower, and we're here. So, use us. We're here.
You mentioned the Karma Cup. Kim, we were at the Karma Cup. Did you see? Oh,
you didn't see us at the Karma Cup?
No, I didn't know. I didn't see you at the Karma Cup. Were you at
the Church Street parking lot?
Yeah, we were at Church Street. Yeah, we were at the Church Street parking lot across from Cannabis Culture.
As soon as you walk in, that's where my booth was. Straight ahead, right across from Cannabis Culture. We were right across. That's probably why no one noticed us, because Cannabis Culture got all the spotlight.
Yeah, so you were inside the parking lot?
Yeah, we were inside. Yeah, I had a booth there this year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we did the 420 Roadshow. We did interviews Saturday and Sunday from there. Actually, today I just posted an article on my wall that I wrote for Grassroots Advocate, which is a news and information sharing magazine that I put together for P.A.C.E.
Cool.
So yeah, if you go to my wall, you'll see it there, and you'll see the write-up.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. That really sucks. You took the wind out of my sails, and Karma, I can't believe you guys didn't know we were there. That really sucks.
There was that place was packed, man. There was a pile of people there.
It was. It really was. It really was.
We had Tracy on for an interview after, and she said Sunday morning, just the Sunday morning from the first hour, 650 people went through the gate. Like, that's just for the first hour, and you saw how many people were in there. The place was packed. We were bumping into people, and I was getting cords caught on people as I was walking around.
It was hard to get to our table. We were covered by people.
Yeah.
It was very
and we didn't get to every booth. You know, don't worry, you weren't the only booth we didn't get to.
Well, I'll tell you what. You didn't see me at the Karma Cup, but if they're all over Ontario, they're all over. If you go to Spliff Magazine and you turn to page 26, you'll see me. There I am, laying on Kennedy Road in a Bond costume.
I saw Kim put the intro together for as far as the notice that she sent out, and she uses different pictures. And I see that you were holding a copy
that was
of
one. Yeah, that's the ad. That's the ad from Spliff Magazine. We just finished that one. It's the new edition. And we're supposed to actually be profiled in the Highway, the next edition of the Highway. So they're doing a profile. They think my story must be told, and it must get out there, and people have to know that we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and that will surely get out to a pile of people. You know, I saw the Highway magazine while we were there, so it was a great magazine. I got myself a copy
in it too. So it's only right we be in it.
Right. Let's see where else we have just so you know Kim has dropped out, so. Hopefully she finds her way back. But let's see what else will we discuss, Maz. You must have anything more that you'd like to bring up and discuss with our guests or with our listeners.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't mind discussing what you guys were kind of like. I'd like to give my opinion on what you guys were discussing earlier about the news.
Okay.
I just, oh boy.
Just so you know, an event that you could be interested in. Like I had mentioned to you, a friend of mine owns a business called Cannabis, who was very similar to the way you got started with the flea market and all that. He organizes an event in Peterborough every year, and it's a date that won't conflict with any other cannabis event, because I don't know of another place locally that runs Cannabis Day. There's one in Oshawa, but it's usually on the Saturday and not on July the 1st. Wayne holds his on July the 1st, no matter what day of the week it is. And
I usually go to Oshawa.
It's in downtown Peterborough, and he gets a permit for it. And the county, you know, he has bands there. He has booths, vending booths. He has draws, free prizes, contests, and he's always looking for people to have a booth set up. And we do a road show from there as well. So we broadcast live right from location, right on location.
Definitely something to think about getting into. That's for sure. I mean, I think we should have Haze Boutiques all across Ontario and more. I mean, I think each community would be much better off with a Haze Boutique in it. But I mean, getting out there and everything by myself right now might be a little bit difficult. But definitely something to look into.
July the 1st is still another 6-7 months away. So
it is.
Things could change quickly, and you could have yourself, next year, you could have 2 staff working for you.
That's it. Oh, that
can
would be a
always
dream come
change
true, my
quickly.
friend.
I see Kim is back. Kim, we're down to
Things
about
can-
the last 5 or 6 minutes, so
Yeah, things can always change quickly. You can always get bumped off the air.
that's right. Just like you can get some good stuff.
Oh shit.
But yeah, okay, Kim. Have you before we wrap up here? I'm going to give you an opportunity to get a question or two in. I just had the last few minutes to them myself, so.
Yeah, well, I'm not even sure what you guys covered while I was in cyberspace there and rebooting. But I'll just top it off, I guess, with my usual question that I have for the guests at the end of the show, and that's what's coming up next in the future.
Hit me with it.
What's coming up in the near future? What's next for you right now? What's coming up next? What can we?
All right, so I do have the profile coming up in the highway. That's for sure. We do have. We're trying to start some events with Greenleaf Vapor Lounge. There was talks of everything from calendars to certain days and parties. I mean, so it's endless. I mean, it's with me by myself, so it's a little difficult, but my brain never stops. Even when I'm not working, I'm working. And so you never know what's going to come from Haze Boutique. It's that kind of place. You never know from one day to the next, but we're definitely going to grow. You're going to see a lot more of us. We're here to stay. I mean, that's just it. We're here. We're here for our customers. We're here to stay. So
awesome.
You're going to see a lot more.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it, and we'll be looking for the interview in the highway coming up next. Great Meg, love Julie Chiarello, love everything they're doing over at Skunk and John and Pebbles,
love
of course,
them.
is awesome.
Love those
Just
two.
Fabulous crew. Fabulous crew for sure.
They have a great crew over there. I gotta say, they really have I'm kind of a little jealous. They have a great crew. There's a bunch of them, and they're like they're just a great team, and they're just good people. So I love working with them.
The Skunk family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Matt, this is where I jump in and we start to look to give you an opportunity to throw a shout out to a person, place, a thing, whether you want to let people know where your website is, friends' websites, maybe thank a person or two if you want.
Absolutely.
This is your opportunity to do that.
All right. Well, you tell me when to go.
Go. Let her loose, man.
All right. First of all, Marley, thank you guys at Marley. Jason, you've been amazing, and I couldn't do it without you. The guys at the Greenleaf Vapor Lounge, I'm so happy they're with their success, and I can't wait to do lots of things together. We're just going to make Brampton a better place, one pothead at a time, a bunch of us, and we're here. So if people need us, we are here. They're at 85 Rosedale Avenue, unit number 1, and Haze Boutique is at 83 Kennedy Road South at Clarence. We're down the stairs, hidden away, but we're there. Just take a look around.
Website? What was your website?
That's about it. I mean, I thank my customers. I mean, I can't do this without my awesome customers, and I have a new dog, Bud. So, Bud by my side, we're unstoppable.
Right on. What's your website?
www.hazeboutique.ca. And also, I am an owner that is available, so you can get us on Instagram at Haze Boutique Brampton, and you can talk to me if you need something ordered, you have an issue, or you just need an answer question, or a buddy, whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I noticed when I posted the announcement on Instagram, and I searched for you to see if you had an account, and found it and linked you on there, and you responded with a like right away. You were right on it.
Yeah, I try very hard to be available. I think it's really important that we're not just buying a business just to buy a business, that we actually do care, at least in this industry.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, by talking with you tonight, there's no doubt in my mind that that's what you're about. You're a patient business owner who looks after the patient, and doing a great job of doing it.
And we're for real. Yeah. So, but thank you for having me. This was a blast. I really enjoyed myself.
We get to run into you somewhere along the line and get to meet you in person.
Yeah, it's always nice to meet new people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Kim, you got somebody you want to promo tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to give a quick shout out tonight to Mr. George Luker from the Ontario Medical Marijuana Association. The George Luker at the OMMA, they're looking for clones right now. They're strictly patients helping patients. They grow designated growers growing for patients completely free of charge. Everything is done through donations, and they are struggling to meet demand for their cancer patients right now. They're looking for any strain they can get their hands on. Anybody that has clones that is willing to donate clones, get in touch with George Luker at the OMMA on Facebook.
Right. There you go. Anybody can help out. Fellow who's helping out patients, it's it's always great when you can do that. So
absolutely.
All right. Into my finishing up spiel here. Let's see. I got to remind everybody, which I didn't at the beginning of the show, and that is go to the P.A.C.E website, P.A.C.E-online.ca, and to let me know that they want some free stuff. We've been talking about educational things here with our guests, and we can help send out free educational information here at the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Just got to go to our website, send us a quick message, and if your name gets drawn from a hat, then we will send you some free items. We'll even pay for the shipping too. So, and just a reminder, let everybody know that we'll be back next week, next Wednesday, as always, with my joint host Allison Murden and her guest. I'm gonna let you know that you can find us on Twitter at P.A.C.E Radio. We're on Facebook where we can be liked. We're on Instagram now. That's just recent and new for us. And as I mentioned, we're on the web at PACE-online.ca. And I just posted the latest edition of Grassroots Advocate on the website. So you check it out there. You'll be able to read the story about the Karma Cup and be able to listen to our audio. It's posted there now as well.
Yep.
And our thank yous to our sponsors, BMA Hydroponics. They're located in Belleville, Ontario, and found online at bmahydroponics.com. CC Nexus, Canada's cannabis seed wholesaler. They're located at ccnexus.global. They have thousands of strains for you to choose from. So you got some time. You can sit there on the computer and go through everything.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, exactly. They got lots there.
Yeah.
The man behind the baggie, our producer, Al Rapp, Lifestyle Radio. Always a big thanks to him. He's the guy who records these shows, does them live, gets it all posted out for us. He's the one who does
I got one more shout out real quick. One more shout out to all of the people out there. Have a happy holidays. I will see you all next year. This is my final show for the year. So I'll see you all in January. Have a happy holidays and happy new year, guys.
That's right. It's right, Kim. This is your last show until after the holidays. So
yes,
it's good thing you jumped on that. I don't have to worry about this week because I'll be back.
Yes, you'll be back. But this is my final show. So have a happy holidays, everybody.
And I know she's already got guests lined up for January. I know. And also a big thank you to you, Matt, for being our guest on the show. Matt, it's been great talking to you, finding out about the Haze Boutique. And I'm sure that there's always more that we'll be able to talk about. And you're located in Brampton, Ontario. What street are you on again?
We're at 83 Kennedy Road South at Clarence.
Yeah, and the big, you guys are just east and north of the big toke of Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And thank you for having me. I really had a good time, so thank you.
And you probably found it was like a conversation between a few people, right?
Absolutely. I do it anytime. So
good.
Anytime you need someone, I'm here.
Future. We'd love to have you back on in the future, and we really appreciate you coming on tonight. And I have one more thank you that I have to mention, and that's always to our listeners. We always appreciate our listeners coming and listening to the program and sharing it online. It's great that everybody's there and helping out and involved. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And good night.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I may